Hi everybody, Amish Shah here, and I'm here with my wife, Dr. Puja Shah.
Hi everyone.
I'm very, very excited to be here today to share some amazing information about a revolutionary ancient science called Ayurveda. And this ancient science goes back over 6,000 years with so much documentation that science is just now starting to prove it. Some of the things that we've been witnessing over the last couple of years of researching this, specifically I've been out filming a documentary on this ancient science. Over 20,000 miles I've traveled, went to India, went to many places in America, interviewed 24 doctors, and just discovered that this science needs way more exposure. There's just so much powerful wisdom within Ayurveda that can help heal so many types of ailments and so many types of conditions that we think of as not fixable or not curable. And then, we also have peak performance on our mind, such as just constantly staying healthy or constantly being in that flow, in that peak performance state. And Ayurveda actually also touches upon almost every field of medicine possible, including herbs. Over 9,000 medicinal herbs were discussed in these ancient texts. And why reinvent the wheel, So this session is all about educating you more about the ancient science of Ayurveda, how you can benefit from it, what to use it for, how to incorporate it into your lifestyle. Puja's going to be talking a lot more on this. So just wanted to say thank you. We have over 6,000 or 7,000 people registered for this webinar series. There's going to be 3 webinars. I'm really excited about all of our guests. And just so much wisdom coming your way. Just really excited to share it.
Yeah, we're super excited. We're super grateful. I mean, it's been a long path for us. We've really dived deep into it. As Amish said, he's been traveling all over the place. We've both undergone Ayurvedic therapy ourselves, and we did it firsthand. Major transformations. And for us, for our family, for just a lifestyle. It's truly a transformation of life, of your lifestyle, your health, your well-being, and ultimately longevity, right? So it's truly amazing, and we're just super grateful, like Amish said, for all of you to be here and be registered and really share in this path and in this journey with us. So Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being a part of this. And let's just cover some of the concepts of Ayurveda. Ayurveda basically is about 2 things, is your connection with nature and your body's constitution. It's really, really cool, and we're going to be sharing a lot more information in just a little bit.
Yes.
What we're going to do right now is we're going to jump to the slides, and after we're done with the slides, we'll come back on camera. So what we'll do is we'll just jump to slides right now. All right. And then we'll just continue to get started about the introduction to Ayurveda. What is it and what is it all about? So who is this session for? Well, for one, it's for those who need healing for a specific illness or a health challenge, or who have loved ones dealing with health challenges. Or it could be those looking for a natural and gentler alternative, or complementary to pills or surgery or other side effect heavy modern medical practices. 3, those concerned about the levels of toxins, GMOs, pollutants, and chemicals in our diets and in our lifestyles. Those looking to break free from the stress, the overwhelm, the anxiety, the exhaustion of modern life. We all deal with that. Those who want to enjoy a deeper, more restful sleep. I know that's important for everybody. Getting really good sleep is crucial. And those who simply want to feel more energetic and positive and aligned with their true nature and their true purpose. Now, I know that sounds deep, but just wait as we start getting into this. It's really, really powerful.
Yeah, for sure.
So by the end of today's session, you'll have a priceless treasure chest of knowledge, of daily best practices, and tools that you can start using immediately to enrich your life with the benefits of Ayurveda. Now, originally we were going to include herbs and cooking as a part of this video, but it just turned out a little too long. So we're actually going to separate that video, and it'll be a special video after this 3-part workshop series. So I just wanted to kind of cue you guys into that. So Ayurveda is a broad body of wisdom covering many aspects of life, from diet to fitness to detox. So for best results, it's crucial that you follow along from start to finish. Take notes and turn off any distractions, including Facebook and your internet browser. Okay, so one of the big reasons I'm hosting this session and starting this ancient healthcare movement is because, many years ago, I started being an entrepreneur about 12 years ago, and I hit success at a very young age. And I had the unhealthy lifestyle, making a lot of money at a young age, going out drinking a lot, smoking cigarettes, eating whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted, and the late nights and the partying, and it was crucial. It was at the point where I just needed to stop. And I just remember all this eczema forming on my body. I couldn't go to the bathroom, and my heart was having these palpitations. I didn't actually blame any of what was happening to me, to my lifestyle, or any of the drinking, or any of that stuff. And so right around the time I was about 30 years old, I went to my doctor to get my blood test, and he basically said I'd be lucky to make it past 35. And I was actually shocked. I was like, okay, well, I understand why, but I didn't think it would be this bad. He said I had a fatty liver, near adrenal failure, cholesterol levels were over 300 when I was 30 years old. I think it was 350 actually. And, the eczema on the body, my back was hurting, my stomach was hurting, all these weird ailments were showing up, headaches. And again, nothing I could put it on that I could think of in my daily life. I had these addictions in my life, quite literally. And so the doctor, first prescribed me some modern medicine type techniques, some prescription pills to help with my cholesterol, to help with what he thought was gastritis, which I found out later I didn't have gastritis. And I just tried some of that basic stuff. I started eating salads. I exercised a little bit.
Or juicing.
Juicing, yeah. And you know what? I did make some pretty good results. I actually started losing some weight. I started getting back into shape. But it wasn't enough, I still felt tired. My mind was still running 1,000,000 miles a minute. I couldn't lose that enough weight for my cholesterol to actually drop dramatically. It seemed like I was going, but I couldn't actually get to where I wanted to. I still felt the addiction to certain unhealthy foods and habits such as alcohol and cigarettes, and it was a struggle. I was trying to battle all this, and I could not get out of it. I was obviously implementing these healthy habits into my life, but I still had the unhealthy ones. And so, I'm not the only one struggling like this. It's a global problem. This is a problem that's affecting millions, if not billions of people. And, the obesity rates are going up. Chronic illness rates are going up.
Stress levels are through the roof.
Stress levels, and me being an entrepreneur, stress levels were sky high, and they were through the roof. And
there's chemicals being pumped in all our food. There's non-GMO. There's GMO, products. It's just
80% of the food in the United States is actually genetically modified. And we even know that our medical system is broken. I'm not sure if you guys knew this, but over 400,000 Americans die every year from preventable medical errors. In fact, it's the number 3 killer in America. Most people don't even talk about this as being a killer in America, right? There's heart disease, there's cancer, and then there's doctor errors.
Right. And so, it's definitely, our system, right? We haven't really incorporated fully, coming from the Western medical background myself as well initially, there's a lot of stress on doctors. They're seeing many patients throughout the day, but yet they're not given the tools to be able to properly diagnose each patient. It's just they're running around, and they're really not given the lifestyle approach tools. They're given perhaps a pill that will possibly fix, and then let's just move on because we have 40 other patients.
And the reason why is because that's what they're taught.
Right, it's how
and they're scared to go out of the way to prescribe something else or try something else because they don't want to get a lawsuit or something against them.
Right.
So it's kind of
we
like
live
this.
in a culture of
it's like this double-edged sword. So it's about education. It's about awareness.
It's about awareness, and it's really about taking your health in your own hands. That's what we're really trying to do here. You have the power to do this.
And that's exactly what I did when I realized this juicing and the eating right and the salads and the smoothies and the Atkins and the paleo. I tried all this like random stuff that I thought that was for me. And then I started really tapping into Ayurveda. I mean, we grew up with it.
Yeah, we did.
Growing up, but we didn't really like follow it, And so I decided to go back to the basics. I went back to Ayurveda, the ancient healing science. It's been in our family for generations, and it's in Puja's family for generations as well. So I remember, the spice racks, the recipes, and all these different herbs the parents used to cook with, and the uncles and aunts who would do oil massages on our heads, and our parents who would want oil massages. And, we never really realized that was part of their daily life for daily detoxification. But then we stopped doing that when we got older and just like, those oil massages and those herbs and those spices weren't that important, right? But then we realized in hindsight that no, they actually serve a major purpose.
It was really when Amish and I think, started our family. We have one coming, but we have a daughter. And when we started, we were giving her an oil massage every single day that she was born. And really, we could feel the energetic difference. We could see that she was, she was not colicky, or she wasn't, it was truly witnessing all these practices in life, right? So it was really beautiful to see that, and with the spices, and so it really becomes something that you can do for your whole entire family, for everyone around you, for the people you love, and yourself, which is why it's so beautiful.
Absolutely. And so when I decided to take things into my own hand, we started eating more Ayurvedic foods, doing things that were more according to our constitution or dosha, which we're going to get into in just a second. We started changing our recipes, the food that we eat, eating heavier meals during lunchtime, which we're going to get into some of this in just a bit. Yeah. But I started taking herbs, and then I went for a detox protocol called Panchakarma, which is herbs, food, and oil massages. And that just completely radically transformed and healed my body. Completely got rid of all the elements, got rid of all my addictions, got rid of so many things that I was attached to in terms of food, and it just like leveled me. It baselined me, and I never felt better in my life.
And for me, it was also about the emotional. I had done it with Amish postpartum, and I will tell you, it was a revolutionary change in my life. It's like what really brought me back to health. And so for women, I think it's so wonderful to do this Panchakarma.
And we're going to briefly talk about that. It's probably a separate video in itself, but we're going to try and touch as many of this, as much of this as possible. Yes. And, the results of the Ayurvedic treatments were amazing. More mental clarity. Cholesterol and digestive system was back to normal. Everything just kind of went back to normal. And so it was these results that inspired me to help others with Ayurveda, honestly. And that's how ancient healthcare was born. And, our goal is to heal 20 million lives by 2030. Yep. And more importantly, our documentary that's coming out, we've been filming this documentary for so long. We're producing seed-to-table Ayurvedic supplements that I've personally visited the farms where they come from. We're setting up a telemedicine platform, and we're even planning a detox retreat this year and an Ayurvedic school further down the road. Yeah. And more info on this really shortly. We're really excited to share this with you. Yes. But, what's really important is, I think, by taking part in this online workshop series, you're a vital part of this mission. You're here. You're spending time with us to learn this. So thank you for that. So Puja has a little presentation that she's going to be sharing with you. And I'd love for her to just kind of jump in, maybe give a little introduction here before she dives into the slides.
Yeah, so this is just basically, it's an intro to Ayurveda, right? Because Ayurveda, when you hear the word, you're wondering, what is Ayurveda? Yeah. I mean, it does mean the science of life. But what does that mean?
Life knowledge.
Yes, yeah. So we really want to share, I really want to share here just what it means and how you can kind of apply this ancient philosophy and wisdom, and it's just a basic, and then we're going to come back and share a little more information with you after that. So enjoy. Hi everyone, I'm Puja Shah, and today I'll be going over the philosophy and science of Ayurveda with you. It's just an introduction, so we will be covering some major key concepts of Ayurveda and what makes it the science that it is. So let's talk about what Ayurveda is. We've covered this in some other times, but we'll just go over it again, just since that's what we're talking about. And Ayurveda is basically one of the world's most sophisticated and oldest powerful mind-body health systems. So thousands of years before modern medicine even provided scientific evidence for that mind-body connection, there was ancient scripture and sages in India who developed Ayurveda. And it's really more than just a regular healthcare system that we know of that just treats illness. Ayurveda translated is the science of life. Ayur means life, and Veda is the science or knowledge. Vedas are where so much of this is derived from, these ancient texts. So it offers a body of wisdom designed to help people stay vibrant and healthy while realizing their full human potential. This is what really draws people to Ayurveda. And just think about this, realizing their full human potential. So this is a major connection of full mind, body, and even soul. So it's a really wonderful approach to the body versus what we're so often, seeing in Western medicine, which is just the body. We separate the mind, we separate the body, and we don't necessarily have that interconnectedness that Ayurveda offers, and with the preventive form of healthcare. So there's two main guiding principles of Ayurveda, and these are that the mind and body are inextricably connected, which we just talked about. And this is really crucial and amazing. Nothing has more power to heal and transform the body than the mind. I mean, how powerful is that? So through meditation, through all these wonderful other components of Ayurveda, it's not just about eating. It's about really, it's about really connecting every single part of how you live. And that's what Ayurveda is. So to get into Ayurveda, I really want to touch on, the science behind it. So I thought we could talk about some physics here. So it's not a physics lesson, but we're just going to kind of talk about how this, interrelates and corresponds to Ayurveda. So if you look at physics, it tells us that the world exists in layers. The surface layer in nature behaves like the particles and are the domain of classic physics. So this is just how the surface layer is. The deeper, more subtle layers of nature behave like wave patterns and fields that are the domain of quantum physics. So there's classical physics and quantum physics is what we're really talking about here. So let's talk about then modern medicine versus Ayurveda. And so this is kind of why I brought up, the classical physics and the quantum physics. And so modern medicine is like the healthcare system based on an analysis of health from the molecular level in classical physics. So, when we look at this includes like matter, the molecules like DNA, the atoms and atomic particles. That's all included in this classical physics model. Ayurveda is the healthcare system based on an analysis of health from the deepest quantum mechanical level in nature. So when I say this, it's almost like talking about, if you know the quantum fields, there are these four fundamental quantum mechanical fields. They include electromagnetic, weak, strong, and gravity. These are the forces. And it also includes and encompasses the unified field. And we'll get into doshas, but it talks about vata, pitta, and kapha, and that correlation with it all. So it's a really much deeper level of understanding the body and nature together as a whole. And so like I brought up before, we've got these three doshas. We've covered this a little before. We're going to go into more depth today. The three doshas are powerful fields that create structure and function of the physical world, including our bodies. So it's like, it's this field. It's this field that includes our bodies, but with everything. And with our bodies, it makes up our constitution. We'll talk later about what each of these constitutions are, but the vata, the pitta, and the kapha each have their own attributes. And so anytime you have an imbalance in the doshas, it's like an imbalance in the body's inner intelligence for proper functioning. So if something is out of whack, that is why. It's probably because you're imbalanced in the doshas. And so each of these doshas has different functions. So the vata dosha is energy that controls the bodily functions associated with motion, including blood circulation, breathing, blinking, and your heartbeat. And in balance, the vata dosha, there you'll see there's creativity and vitality. But when you're out of balance with the vata dosha, you can produce fear and anxiety. So that's the manifestation if it's out of balance. The pitta dosha is energy that controls the body's metabolic systems, including digestion, absorption, nutrition, and your body's temperature. So when this is in balance, it leads to contentment and intelligence. And when this is out of balance, it can cause ulcers, it can cause anger. It's very fire driven. And then there's the kapha dosha. So this is a third one. And this is energy that controls growth in the body. It supplies water to all the body parts. It moisturizes the skin and it maintains the immune system. In balance, it's expressed as love and forgiveness. And when it's out of balance, you can lead to insecurity and envy are the manifestations there. You'll also see like the physical manifestations. So with kapha dosha, how it moisturizes the skin, right? Like for our body, when you're out of balance, you've got extremely oily skin, and it's just too much. So this is when you're too much of it, or that's kind of like the way you can look at it. And each person has all three doshas, but one or two usually dominate. So various dosha proportions determine someone's physiological and personality traits, and also their general likes and dislikes. So if you can see, like a vata type would prefer hot weather to cold. Like I'm vata, and so I do prefer hot. I prefer hot versus cold weather. And then a kapha type are more likely to maybe crave something like spicy foods than the other types. So these are just some things that we'll get into, and you'll see as well. And so this is, I know you see this car, you're going to wonder why I put this on there, but these three types of processes can be seen as the basis of any system in nature. So let me explain that. So while we talk about it with our body, it's the basis of any system. And it's kind of like a car. So if you look at a car, it has moving wheels and parts like the vata function. And then it has internal combustion engines, or that create like a chemical transformation to turn on the gas and to turn the gas into heat and energy and to actually power the car. And that's like the pitta function. And then there's like the chassis, the whole overall structure of the vehicle, right? And that's the kapha function. So as you can see, all are the system, or this car. And so that's kind of why I just wanted to talk about how these three processes can be seen as one, like this. And so how do we apply this to life, right? How do we apply this vata, pitta, kapha, and all this information to life? So in Ayurveda, food is evaluated for its strength and balance of these doshas, of the vata, pitta, and kapha. So like example, an apple would be high vata, and something that's really hot and spicy, like a hot pungent dish, would have strong pitta activity, and something really heavy, like a heavy dessert, are high kapha. And then same thing goes for behavior. So behavior is analyzed for its influence on the doshas. So staying up late, I'll talk about the times in the next slide. Staying up late disturbs the vata, and then eating a large late meal would aggravate kapha, makes you very heavy, right? And exercising in the hot sun can actually aggravate pitta, increasing that fire. So when we look at this, the behavior in the food, it's really an effective way to look at lifestyle health as an overall big picture, rather than just targeting one specific ailment and illness of one organ, saying, okay, well, I have ulcers. Let's just target that ulcer, rather than seeing what aggravated the body to create that ulcer. And so that's another way you can apply this to the life. So I wanted to talk about the times of day with the doshas. So, we know doshas rule our body, right? Like when we talk about Ayurveda. But they also, I guess you can say, rule nature and the universe in the way of time and space. So it's kind of like thinking of the macrocosm versus the microcosm. If we're tiny bits of this big nature that surrounds us, when we go in accordance with the nature, we're going to function at our best, right? So when we are all functioning together, nature and body. So it's kind of like if we create a daily routine that's going to help us, and as if we understand which energies govern what times of day, that really can help us act in accordance and function with the nature around us, right? And that can really give us our best possible outlook on how we can live. And so here, this little chart here is really great because it shows the different times of the day and what's happening. So let's go into a little detail. So let's say we start here at 2 a.m., right? So here, let's say this is the 2 a.m. And so if we're starting at 2 a.m. to 6 a.m., this whole time, excuse me. It's very sensitive, this mouse. Okay, so the 2 a.m. to 6 a.m., this whole time is Vata. And so this is when the body prepares itself to wake and it starts moving. And this is when dreams start happening. In the body, there's movement in the bowels preparing for elimination. The mind is closest actually to the highest self. It's really best, if you want to know when to wake up, to wake about an hour to half an hour before sunrise so that you rise with the Vata energy of movement. And if you do try it, you'll be surprised. I mean, first you may, if you're not used to it, feel tired, but you'll be surprised how energized you feel the rest of the day when you do it this way. And once sunrise hits, we can see around 6 a.m., this is Kapha. So the energy of Kapha is really slow and steady. Okay, so this is when you would eat a light breakfast around maybe 7 or 7:30 a.m., just enough so that it can tide you over until lunch. And during Kapha time, your Agni, your fire, is weak from the night's rest. So you have to, it's almost like rekindling it. You want it to be a time to get, mundane tasks out of the way. And just think about it. Like if you, let's say when you get to work, you're not in your most creative, ready strategy for heavy strategy in that moment that you get there, right? So it's nice to just do some simple tasks at that time. I know Amish does this. So when he starts, he'll just do all these little simple tasks first. He's not going to go deep into some strategy right then and there. And so this is what happens at that time. And so that's 10 a.m. to, sorry about that. So that's about 10 a.m. and then until 10 a.m. And then you'll start seeing this 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So, this is kind of like noon, right? And so this time is your Pitta time. And this is when you get ready to strategize. This is it. This is when you can make new goals, organize, analyze. This Pitta time it's a time of thoughts, perceptions, discriminations, intellect. It's all at its peak. So you can have your, really strategic meetings at that time. It's when people are at their sharpest and ready for a challenge. And of course, noon is when Agni is strong, right? Because that's when we're trying to, that's when Agni and Pitta relate to the sun, and the sun is strongest around noon. So if we think about the sun, that's what's happening in that moment. But just if you think about it too, that's when you want to eat lunch, when your Agni is strong. And in Ayurveda, it's when you make it your biggest meal. Lunch should be your biggest meal. Most often people will make dinner their biggest meal, and it's actually better to make lunch your biggest meal in Ayurveda. So you've got that strong fire, you're ready, you're ready to go. And so that's when you can have lunch. And then we look at this 2 p.m. to sunset, 6 p.m. time. And so this is Vata time again. Okay, so around 2 or 3, you'll probably notice that you get a little bit antsy. Maybe you need a snack or you feel chatty. That's Vata telling you that it wants to move. So that's that Vata time. That's when around that time then you can create your task lists for the next morning. It's even a time you can exercise. Maybe do a little bit of yoga or something small like stretch. And that's probably when you're not extremely hungry, so that's a good time to exercise. But you're kind of bored and your mind may wander. And at this time, if you do have an afternoon meeting, how many people can attest to this? After lunch, around 3 o'clock, let's say you have a meeting or a call for work. And I've been in this situation, and you may have a wandering mind. You may end up doodling, right? So think about kids in school. Towards the end of the day, they're kind of doodling and taking notes. They're not at their peak like they are before. So it's a great time to create and innovate. Creative work should be done around that time. So save the creative work for around this time. And at the end of the workday, then, like I just said, you can make a task list for the next morning. So it helps your vata stay organized, and it really helps your kapha in the morning love you for having a list when it gets it, right? When it sees, oh, we know what to do, you're not in that. So you can do all those tasks with that list that you created the day before. So it's a really great way to do that. Then we look at 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. So this is kapha time again. So this is when you relax. You can have a light dinner. You really should wind down from your day. So often people will keep working. This is a great time to just wind down. And it's kapha time. So again, your Agni, your fire is not strong. It's a time for family, for relaxation, for friends, for nurturing. You want that nurturing feeling. And like I said, winding down. Once you start winding down like that, you can get ready for bed. So the best time to get to bed is by 10 p.m. in Ayurveda. And I know many of us stay up past 10. I mean, most of us do, especially if you feel like you're getting that second wind. Notice what comes at that second wind. We'll talk about that in a minute. Your brain may start to feel like you're working out the day's problems ahead. That's pitta. So notice after 10 p.m., it starts to become pitta again. And so pitta is basically, it's digesting all thoughts, perceptions, foods, everything given to your mind and body from the entire day. So it's working hard to move that stuff through your, I guess you can say, digestion process. So not only the food, but also your thoughts and perceptions and this quote unquote stress is moving through your body. And so, if you stay awake past 10, you're going to have a hard time falling asleep, and you may not even be able to fall asleep all the way until later on. And that's because your body and mind is like a processing machine at that time. So again, we're back to vata at 2 to 6, and all that stuff, that pitta just digested is going to try to eliminate it now. And it gets you ready for a start of a new fresh day with new choices and new challenges. And like we said, hopefully a nice task list that's waiting at your desk. So this is why we talk about the doshas and the times of day and its correlation. Of course, different seasons have different sunrises and sunsets, although that doesn't necessarily change as much of the times. It may change it slightly, but you generally still want to. You would go until that sunrise. You obviously don't want to, if the sunrise where you are is at 4 a.m., which I don't know, but that's not what we're looking at, but you want to change it accordingly in that. And so that's how we work with the seasons as well. And we'll talk about the seasons. The seasons also have their own properties when things start getting colder, what you should be eating and what you should be, how you should be dressing and what oils you should be using. These are all part of Ayurveda. And so now that we've talked about the times of day, and I hope this does help you, we're going to talk about the elements. Now, Amish covered this in the email you received recently. He really went into the 5 elements. So one of the fundamental aspects of Ayurveda is that it starts with these 5 elements: space, air, fire, water, and earth. And I'm going to get into how in a minute, but this is crucial. I mean, this is our correlation to the nature. This is that macrocosm I'm talking about. This is what I meant when I was saying, when we look at it in a way that while all these doshas, while Ayurveda governs, I guess you can say, the nature and universe and in the way of time and space, we are these bits of that big nature that surrounds us. And so we really want to go in accordance with it. These are the elements that we'll see. And so this is how we talk about the doshas and the elements. Now, every organism, including food in its pure state, is comprised of these elements, right? So understanding how these elements and their effects and qualities help us is how we can understand how they affect our body. So now when we think about it, we want to determine the percentage of these elements making up our body constitution, like our doshas. And the word dosha, I don't know if we got into this before, it literally translates from Sanskrit to mean that which can cause harm. So, or become faulty or go out of balance. So if you think about what that means in Ayurveda, the key to health through Ayurveda is to keep them, all 5 of them, balanced, right? And so, if we look at each one of these separately, so let's just take a look here at the Vata, right? So in Western science, the Vata type they're saying here is known as ectomorph. I found this wonderful chart here from some of my teachings when I did my yoga training. We definitely talked about this a lot, and I really liked this chart, so I found it for us to look at. And so for the Vata type, their physical body is long and lean. They really don't have a lot of muscle tone. They have prominent bones, dry skin, and have a hard time gaining weight. So this is space and air when we look at space and air. And so, if we think about this in another, and so we'll talk about that emotionally too, but for this, they basically are enthusiastic, right? And they have a lot of bursts of energy, but they tend to tire out quickly. So if, let's say, a Vata is out of balance, they're going to be particularly prone to getting carried away and pushing themselves too hard, which is why you can see this, how that air and space quality is there. And so they would feel dizzy and exhausted, and they'd feel like, they're almost on the verge of cramping, are all signs of Vata imbalance. Some exercises that are really good for the physical Vata, body is more like grounding exercises like yoga, walking, like easy walking, bicycling, even dancing. And so that's how they are physically. Emotionally, they can be really inspirational when balanced. And scattered and spacey and anxious when they're out of balance. And so they're really in that spacey state. For foods, eating foods that contain high amounts of the space and air elements. So when we think about this, such as raw vegetables and dried food, those are air elements, that can cause a Vata imbalance. So if a lot of people will talk about being completely raw and they'll only eat a raw diet. If you are typically Vata, this is going to put you into imbalance, right? This is not going to be that beneficial for you. So for the Vata, if you want to choose grounding foods, that's better, such as cooked root vegetables. It helps to bring the Vata back into balance if you're imbalanced. And so then we'll look at the next dosha, the Pitta. This is fire and water. And so they're saying that it's also known as mesomorph. And so their physical body is generally well defined with good muscle tone. So they have skin with a rosy tone, and they can gain and lose weight fairly easily. So, they've got, if you look at Pitta, they've got strong drive. For physical bodies, they like challenging sports. So you can say somebody who's Pitta can do things like skiing or hiking, tennis and mountain climbing. And because they're competitive, they really have to be careful not to increase their stress when exercising. If any of you competitive types out there, you know what I'm talking about. It's easy to get upset over every bad golf shot or want to win at all costs, So that's kind of something to look out for. And emotionally, Pittas are determined and they're focused when balanced. So they're very determined, very focused. But like we talked about with this competitive nature, it's also they're very aggressive and angry when out of balance. Their fire, that anger is in them. Foods that contain high amounts of fire and water elements, such as hot peppers, spicy hot peppers and pickled foods, they can actually cause a Pitta imbalance. And so it's important to take note of that if you are in imbalance in Pitta. Choosing foods which are cooling, like cucumbers and watermelon, they actually help reduce Pitta. So that's great to know. And so, the last dosha here, Kapha, water and earth. So, they're called the endomorph. Their physical body is generally stocky and stout, and they have thick, sometimes oily skins, which develop muscle and have a harder time losing weight. So, they're very strong. Emotionally, they're stable and secure when balanced, but can be stubborn and attached when out of balance. And so because they have such a strong, steady energy and have this great physical strength, they really can excel at things like endurance sports, long distance running, aerobics, dance, soccer, rowing, and all of that. And because, motivation is so hard, it's really good to start with something attainable as a goal, versus doing something really trying to attain something that's out there and really hard to get to because they want to get motivated first. For foods, eating foods that contain high amounts of water and earth elements, such as dairy products, those are, that are heavy, and also heavy oily foods itself can cause a kapha imbalance. So that's important to know. You don't want to be eating all this cheese, and if you're if you're kapha imbalanced. And choosing foods that are light in quantity, like raw vegetables, so opposite of the vata, and even a little meat can reduce kapha. So lean meat probably is really great for you there. So these are just ways that we can incorporate these. So if we notice, it's like we talked about, it's having the amounts of elements in the food can really help. The type of exercise, that element in the exercise of whether space and air, fire and water, water and earth. These are ways to help the imbalances. And so that is just our basic introduction to Ayurveda. I really do hope this gives you an insight on how this can help in your daily life, especially with that timing and the times of the days with the doshas, and as well as with the elements here. Those are key components in selecting foods and movement, the type of movement you do, and and the type of goals you set. These are all correlated. And what I love about this is that it's correlated with the larger macrocosm of nature, of the universe here too. So it feels good to be in line, right, with what we are surrounded by, and what we put into our body, and what we move forward with our body. So I really do thank you for being here, and namaste.
Okay, so that was amazing content. And so what does all this mean? Okay, so we have these doshas and, the 5 elements that control the doshas. And so all it really is very simple. You're born with a specific constitution. That constitution, if changed, if one of your 3 doshas is out of balance, or multiple are out of balance, then that is going to be the cause of something in your body, the toxins that start accumulating. They call it amma in Ayurveda, as mentioned. And that amma basically starts going in your digestive tract. It's this sludgy, disgusting toxins that get stuck in your gut. And then it has nowhere to go. It literally just sits in your gut. So what happens? It starts leaking out of your gut. And that's where leaky gut comes from. Everyone's talking about what leaky gut is. Well, what causes leaky gut? It's the amma, which is caused from the imbalance of your doshas, right? And this leaky gut, what happens is this amma comes out of your gut, and then it starts lodging itself in your joints, in your muscles, in your tissues, in your bones, in weak areas in your body. It'll start stuffing itself in there because it found a weak area in your body to deposit itself. And then what happens when that happens over time, right? Disease starts forming, ailments start coming up, symptoms start showing up. There's only one way to get rid of that, right? There's Ayurveda is the answer. It's not through a pill, and it's not through other means like surgery and things like that. Now, don't get me wrong. Modern science, modern medicine, if you break your arm, you have a heart attack, you have a stroke, you're going to go to the hospital. You're going to need the hospital if you're getting in a car accident, something like that. But if there's something that's been bothering or lingering for a long time, chronic conditions, autoimmune type things that we've been sitting here saying we don't have the answer for, Ayurveda does have many answers for that.
And a lot of the Western science will, let's say something, that has been lingering for a long time. For instance, Amish mentioned gastritis the other day. The technique for gastritis in Western medicine is to give you medicine that will either, proton pump inhibitors or all these other pharmaceutical drugs that don't stop the problem. They just stop the symptoms. Of the problem. Mm-hmm. So the beauty of Ayurveda is that it goes to the source and the root. And like Amish said, the gut is where everything begins, right? So it's really important to travel to where the source of the problem is and eliminate this amma that can spread and cause more disease. So.
And what causes amma is genetically modified foods that have pesticides. Your stress actually causes amma. There's a direct connection between your gut and your brain, which is going to be the next webinar we're going to cover. The connection between the gut and the brain and how amma causes disease. The pollution that we're in every single day doesn't. Well, maybe some areas are cleaner where you live might be clean, some areas, but if you live anywhere near a metropolitan city, you're going to have lots of pollution. and the everyday water, even the water that we drink, is polluted.
It's important
All of this stuff is important, and so all of this is what causes ama. But what if you could regularly remove some of this stuff out of your body? What if there's daily principles that you could use to just detoxify on a daily basis? Little things that we can do. We came up with this kind of do's and don'ts list.
We have a good list here.
And then we also came up with a seasonal list so that you can actually look at the seasons and figure out what works during certain seasons and what doesn't work during certain seasons. So let's go through the do's and don'ts.
Yeah, so the do's, which are, really important. They're not that tedious. They're not tedious things, but they're little things that can really revolutionize your health. So you want to choose organic food. This is super important. Organic is just, that it doesn't have all the pesticides and everything that the other foods do have. You want to drink warm water throughout the day. And so, most people who do say, I drink a lot of water, if you're putting a lot of ice in your water, this can actually cause that sludge in your intestines to harden and to just not be able
also
to
slows down your digestive system. So warm water helps kind of move it along. It keeps it warm. Your body doesn't have to expend as much energy warming up the cold water as the warm water.
You want to cook slowly. So you don't want to put your stove on super high heat.
Or the microwave.
Or the microwave is also...
Blast it in the microwave.
Where you don't really allow the nutrients to stay in the food, and you almost scorch the food. So you don't want that to happen. You want to use fresh fruits and vegetables. If you have a farmer's market in wherever you live, try to make a point to go to it. It really forces you and allows you to get fresh fruit and vegetables.
And also allows you to eat seasonal, which is the next point here.
Yep, eat seasonal foods. At the farmer's market, they're not going to have genetically modified blueberries in the middle of the season that doesn't grow blueberries. So you really want to be able to get the things that you're able to get that's close to you. And when you do eat these foods, eat until you're 3/4 full. So this is an important rule.
The best way to do that is to eat slowly. I know it's hard sometimes. We just want to shove food in our mouth and eat until you're 3/4 full. Like, what does that mean? Well, the way to really do that is to eat very slow. And you'll see that you start getting fuller quicker, so then you can stop 3/4 because you'll be like, oh, I'm starting to get full. I should probably slow down even more and wait till I feel that full that I can stop eating.
I know that, in one of our other courses, I taught a mindful meditation on eating. It sounds really weird, but it was really about eating slow, like Amish said, but mindfully eating. When you mindfully eat, you're able to concentrate on what you're chewing. You're able to see it go down and nourish your cells, and you'll be surprised. Just try it just for a moment. The next time you eat a meal, to visualize that, and you'll be able to tell when you're really full. It's also a little rule that you wait about 15 to 20 minutes to see if you're really full or not. So you can just sit at your table, talk with your family or whatever you're doing there, and see if you're actually really full before you can declare that you're not full or not. And then eating a light breakfast helps, a hearty lunch and a light dinner. So these are what Amish mentioned before about making lunch your heaviest meal. Most people think, okay, have this humongous breakfast to start your day. You should never skip breakfast, for sure. I think a lot of people think, well, they're on the go. That's not what Ayurveda says, but they do say that in the middle of the day, when the sun is at its highest peak, which we talked about a little before, is when you should be having the most
digestive powers.
Yes, you should be having your...
So your body can break down the food when the peak is lunchtime, with the sun. So that's really important.
And what you're eating should include all 6 tastes in each meal. So the 6 tastes are sweet, sour, salty, pungent, bitter, and astringent. And, it's very interesting because sometimes you'll look at your plate for lunch and you may only have, salty, or you may only have, sweet. And you really want to include everything for your palate.
Yeah, I know it's hard to do that. So, as many as you can.
Yes.
And, yeah.
And like we talked about with the seasons, you want to eat in harmony with them. After you eat that, you want to sit for 5 to 10 minutes after finishing a meal, and then you can take a short walk right after. The reason you want to, you don't want to jump up from your meal and just, some people will eat and then that's it. They just jump up and start doing everything, run back to the office or something like that. But you really want to sit for 5 to 10 minutes. You want to learn how to use spices. So this is, so for some people this can be intimidating, but like Amish said, we're going to be having some more information for you on that later.
Yeah, and spices don't mean like make your food spicy or curry or anything like that. No. Simple things like fennel, like ginger, like saffron, like cilantro.
Even oregano, yeah.
Like oregano. Yes. Just simple herbs. Turmeric doesn't even taste like anything. You can just put it in your food and it's an anti-inflammatory. And it's amazing.
Yes, and they minimize toxicity. They help in digestion. They, like Amish said, with inflammation and healing. So these are little ways you can do it in daily basis.
And we're gonna have a whole separate video dedicated to cooking and spices.
Yes.
After this workshop series.
Yes. And yeah, I mean, there's so many spices that.
Yeah, there's lots of spices we can go over.
Yeah.
And let's just jump to the don'ts here.
Yes, for sure.
Those are also just as important as the do's. So you want to avoid frozen, canned, processed, and genetically engineered food at all costs. A lot of the food, what's interesting is genetically engineered food. First we talk about pesticides. Now what's happening with genetically engineered food is they have the pesticide genetically inside of the plant so that no bugs will eat it.
Yes.
So that strain is in the plant.
That's horrible.
And then you eat it, and then it gets into your stomach and it has nowhere to go because your body doesn't know how to process it. This is food you eat every single day. So think about that before you put that stuff in your mouth. Just think about that. And leftovers, reheated food, especially microwave food. Leftovers are okay, but what happens is they kind of end up losing its power. It ends up, becoming bad and stale. Just like, when you cook stuff, it goes bad after a couple of days. So we always say fresh food is always the best for Ayurveda. Caffeine, avoid caffeine, I know a lot of us love coffee. I drink coffee from time to time. I do enjoy coffee and teas and chais and, I like a hot drink every now and then to keep me going as well. And again, in moderation. You want to try and avoid it. And if you can, white tea is the best if you want the benefits of tea, or herbal teas.
Herbal, yeah.
There's you can make so many kinds of teas with just some herbs that you can soak in water and drink.
I've been learning that in my pregnancy. I'm avoiding all caffeine, and I've really learned to love the flavor of herbal tea. So definitely check it out if you're a tea drinker.
Another don't is don't eat at different times every single day. Try to create a schedule and stick to it. Mm-hmm. The more routine your body has, the more it knows like, oh, I'm going to get food at 12. Oh, I'm going to get food at 6 or whatever time it is. Your body knows and it starts preparing itself for that food in the digestive process. So the minute you miss that, or the minute you go before or you go after, your bodies may not be ready for that, or it may be too late. So, these are just very simple things that you can try and incorporate into your life. One of the big things in Ayurveda is pay attention while you're eating. So don't eat while distracted, while you're driving, while you're watching TV, while you're on your phone, texting people. I know that becomes a habit for a lot of us. It's we don't mindfully eat our food, but put away the phone, don't do it while you're driving. Sit down, look at your food, think about what you're eating.
Turn off
think
that
about
TV,
Yeah, think about the nutrients that it's providing your body. That alone can radically shift the nutrients your body absorbs. It's so powerful. Mindfully eating. Don't heat up honey. What they say in Ayurveda is believe that heating up honey creates a toxic effect in tissues. Now, if you put it in tea and you put it in coffees and things, it's okay, but try to just avoid it. Try to avoid heating up honey as much as you can. If you wish to become vegetarian, don't rush. A lot of people say that, eating a plant-based lifestyle, you have longevity, anti-aging, your energy's better. And you don't have to rush it, you could do it gradually. You can eliminate red meat first and then just take baby steps, I completely eliminated meat about 2.5 years ago, but then more recently started eating a little bit here and there. I don't eat any red meat, a little bit of fish from time to time, a little bit of chicken from time to time, but all as much as I can organic, farm fresh, free range. Make sure that nothing was hurt in the process, it's the source that's more important than anything.
Yes.
So Even in Ayurveda, they have bone broths and things that that are really, really good for your body. And avoid white and processed sugars, corn syrups, white sugar, table sugar that you see, so bad for you.
So bad.
And just avoid it at all costs. And if you have kids, please don't give them anything that has processed or refined sugar either.
Yeah. We don't need to introduce that to
And so besides just these do's and don'ts, we also have staying in tune with the seasons. Think about it for a second. In the winter, you want to eat warm food. In the summer, you want cool food, such as cucumbers or watermelons. Some of these seasonal differences are very, very, very important. And your mood changes in these different seasons as well. I'm sure you've noticed that as well. For instance, a general perspective is that winters are introspective and you want to stay indoors and sleep and eat, and summers are for going out and being active and experiencing things. Autumn and spring is a time for like romance, and spring is a time of like hope and new beginnings. And these are things that we all embody without actually even realizing it. Even nature itself, plants. Springtime is the time that it's flourishing and you start seeding and you get a lot of crop in the summer. It's like really powerful how once we align ourselves with nature as well in these seasons, things start radically shifting.
And so in the winter, you want to do certain things. There's like almost behavior for each season in Ayurvedic thought, the school of thought. Things that just really help aid in your overall wellness. And so in the winter, you'd want to get plenty of oil massages. Nourish those joints and lubricate. You want to get exercise, and you want to wear things that are appropriate for the season. Things like leather, and if you're not, some people tend not to wear leather. There's silk and there's wool. There's all the clothing that you don't want to wear light cottony dresses, obviously, right, in the winter.
You want to stay warm.
So you really want to do that for your body. You want to get plenty of exposure to sunlight and fire to keep warm, to keep that internal heat. And you want to eat more sweet, sour, and salty food. So these foods actually help in the season.
Absolutely.
And then, we move on to spring. And for this, you don't want the oil massages. You want to get dry massages. And there's moisture in the air. There's just a different season. You, of course, still want to get exercise. And you may, for some people, want to take nasal medication.
And not
everyone.
Not like steroids or anything like that. But they sell some very simple things in Ayurveda, such as a neti pot to start with. And then after the neti pot, they have something called nasya, which are just a couple of drops. It's just oils, eucalyptus oils and different oils mixed together that you just drop in your nose to help lubricate some of that, because the spring is the beginning of flowers and pollen and some of that, and it just helps the body regulate itself.
For those, some of you may actually feel that sinus irritation and all that, so it's really a great way to not have to take what Amish mentioned, like steroids and stuff. So, and in the spring, you don't want to sleep during the day. You can look at how nature works its course this way. We're not bears, but you can look into see how the winter is more for that sleep, right? And you go into the spring and it's like a rejuvenation. So you're not sleeping during the day. And you want to avoid hard to digest and fatty foods for sure. And we'll move on to the summer, which, can be a lot of people's favorite season. You want to bathe in cold water. So you don't want to be taking super hot showers in the summer. It could be contraindicated there.
Yeah, you want to stay cool. You want to stay in cool places. You want to wear light clothes in general so that you're not sticky and icky, So the air, you're breathing, your body's breathing.
You're giving your pores what it needs, so for sure.
In summer, we say don't drink cold water generally in Ayurveda, but if you're feeling over hot and exhaustion in the summer, then yes, drink cold water, not freezing cold water, but cold water will help you kind of just stay calm and cool. And summer, you also want to eat food that is a little bit of sweet and high in fat, because you want to burn. You're going to be burning more. So you want to kind of keep that momentum up.
And then we move on to autumn. And in autumn, you want to bathe in warm water. It's that type of temperature. You want to eat bitter and sweet food. And you also want to avoid heavy food. things that are way too heavy. So these are just some little tidbits you can add in to per season. So, I mean, right now we're in winter, so, try some of those winter tips out, see how they go.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure by now that you can see that this body of wisdom that we've probably only scratched about 1% of,
Yes,
can help people overcome so many of the challenges of modern life. In our next session, we're going to be covering the brain-gut connection, spontaneous weight loss, and how you can have spontaneous weight loss, and how powerful that can be for people nowadays. And how powerful this information is. The fact is, the shift has already started. You can see it everywhere around you. More and more people are doing natural things, wanting natural foods and organic foods over this processed stuff. They're going healthy, right? They don't want the processed and the GMOs and the pesticides. They want stuff that's going to embody them, that's going to fuel their body, not hurt their body.
yes.
And so these companies that are doing this, that are out there, like the McDonald's and Monsanto and all these companies that are out there doing almost evil to our planet. They're killing us. These large companies that are producing this fake foods and fake everything is killing us. And we're not even paying attention to it while they make the billions of dollars doing this stuff. But what's great is that the shift has started. Yep. McDonald's is losing money quarter after quarter after quarter. Monsanto's is losing money quarter after quarter after quarter. This is great news for us. This is us, the people, speaking back against these companies that have been taking advantage of us for dozens of years.
We have organic fast food now. We have, things popping up because people are using their voice and they're using their power to change it. So
they're reclaiming their personal freedom.
Yes.
And so through this initiative and through initiatives like this, like urban farming and living off the grid and conscious entrepreneurship, and all of this is a big movement that's taking place on the planet. People are choosing to take over their lives. Alternative medicine is also on the rise. In fact, over 40% of Americans now use some form of alternative medicine, like meditation, for example.
Yep.
And this is just great news. So why are we doing this? We have this movement ourselves. We want to help heal the lives of 20 million people by 2030. That is the goal of Ancient Healthcare. More specifically, the documentary that we've been working on. We want to reach 20 million people by the end of the year with that documentary.
Yes.
In the hopes of creating this massive movement that helps heal people. And so I'd like to play a short little video for you. It's an Indiegogo campaign that we've launched, and I'd really like to share this with you. So I'm going to go ahead and start this video right now, and we'll be right back. I just want to share this amazing content with you and this amazing video that the film crew put together that I'm very, very proud of. So we'll be right back in just under 8 minutes. Hi, Amish Shah here from Ancient Healthcare. I first got the idea for the Ancient Healthcare project after my doctor gave me the bad news. You see, back in my 20s, I was this hotshot online entrepreneur. I partied hard, I drank hard, I stayed up all night, I ate unhealthy food, and for a while, I felt invincible. Everything came crashing down on me when I found out I had a fatty liver, sky-high cholesterol, and a broken digestive system. In fact, my doctor told me I'd be lucky to make it past 35. And so here I am, 36 years old, and luckily, because of an ancient healthcare system, I am completely healed. We'll get to what the system is in just a second. You see, I was just one small part of a far bigger problem. Because when you look at the statistics, we live in hazardous times. In fact, it's safe to say that with each generation, we're moving further and further away from our natural state of well-being. And these problems are coming at us from so many angles. Obesity rates are going up, chronic illness rates are going up, stress levels are through the roof. Tens of thousands of types of artificial chemicals are being pumped into our foods. Over 80% of the food available in the United States is genetically modified. And even our own medical system is broken. I mean, did you know that over 400,000 Americans die every year from preventable medical errors? Now, more than ever, we need a healing revolution. That's why my team and I launched this Ancient Healthcare Project. The Ancient Healthcare Project is a multi-part campaign throughout 2016 that aims to revive the 6,000-year-old healing science known as Ayurveda. Ayurveda is a holistic healthcare system that means life knowledge in Sanskrit, and its main principle is simple. It's about being in harmony with both Mother Nature and your unique body composition. But instead of all the chemicals, the invasive surgeries, and the one-size-fits-all approach you'll find in many aspects of modern medicine, Ayurveda shows you how to eat right. It shows you how to make the right lifestyle choices, how to remove toxins from your body. It also shows you how to enrich your diet with nutrient-dense herbs and supplements, and even how to reconnect with the essence of who you really are, all through a unique approach that honors your personal characteristics. And all of this so you can enjoy greater health, greater energy, and greater freedom in every area of your life. What's even more incredible about Ayurveda is that all of the remedies and techniques have been documented for thousands of years and tested on millions, if not billions of people, and only recently have been recognized and studied by modern science. You see, I use this very system and approach to heal myself. And now it's time to bring it to the world through detoxification protocols, herbal supplements, education, food, and lifestyle changes. I was able to completely cure myself. But there's one problem with Ayurveda. Most people either don't know about it or they find it too complex to learn about. And so through this Ancient Healthcare Project, we aim to spark a healing revolution by spreading Ayurveda awareness and training to at least 20 million people by the end of this year. The Ancient Healthcare Project brings together a number of initiatives throughout 2016 to help us achieve this goal. The first is an educational documentary film we plan to launch in May. My team and I spent 2 years traveling thousands of miles across the world, tracking down farms, doctors, ashrams, laboratories, manufacturing plants, and Ayurvedic physicians to learn the truth about Ayurveda. And let me just tell you, the more deeper we got into this body of wisdom, the more we realized how much people need it. So we cannot wait to share this documentary with the world in May. We're releasing it online and through a number of premiere events in San Diego, New York, and India. Apart from the film, we're also launching a line of Ayurvedic supplements through what we call a seed-to-table approach. And what this basically means is that we're in charge of every step of the supply chain for these supplements, from the procurement of the seeds, to the farming, to the harvesting, to the bottling, and to the distribution. Our goal with this seed-to-table approach is to set a new standard in quality, purity, safety, ethics, and sustainability that no other supplement manufacturer can match. Because we believe this is important to the consumer. People now care more than ever about where their products actually come from. Did you know that Ayurveda cataloged over 9,000 medicinal plants and herbs over 6,000 years ago? Well, one of our biggest goals with this Ancient Healthcare Project is to also create platforms for people to not just practice Ayurveda, but to teach and spread it too. So another thing we're doing is we're setting up a HIPAA-compliant telemedicine platform that will link up patients and practitioners. What's great about this is that it's a win-win for everyone. Patients get personalized consultations from the comfort of their own home, and Ayurvedic practitioners get a wider client base to work with. So there you've got it, the film, the supplements, the telemedicine platform, and we've also got a host of other complementary initiatives and products throughout 2016, including e-courses, cookbooks, spice kits, and even an Ayurvedic retreat, which will lead to our very own in-house certification program. And eventually, an Ayurvedic school we plan to open in 2017. All of these initiatives come together to create education, awareness, and tools for people to integrate Ayurveda into their modern lives. So it's really a 360-degree, holistic, and long-term solution that we're aiming for with this Ancient Healthcare Project. Okay, so this is where we need your support. See, up to this point, Ancient Healthcare has been completely privately funded. From the documentary filming, to the supplement production and R&D, to the upcoming telemedicine and retreat logistics, we've been paying for everything out of our own pockets. What we're looking for now is a financial boost to help us optimize and produce the best possible products we can and get maximum exposure for them. More specifically, we need funds to drive the Ancient Healthcare core team and expenses so we can continue to 1. Complete the post-production on the documentary film, 2. Continue building out the supplements, the spices, the learning materials, and the telemedicine platform, and 3. We need funds for our promotional and live event costs, which will help us get on the road and spread this message. To show that we are serious about what we are creating, we're also donating 10% of proceeds from this campaign to various charities, which will contribute towards sponsoring clinical trials, building Ayurvedic schools, creating scholarships and grants, and furthering education and Ayurveda infrastructure. The total preliminary sum we're looking at is $150,000, and we've also lined up some exciting stretch goals in the event we hit our initial target. We're also really excited about the perks we've prepared for this campaign, because they're not just there to reward our backers, but also to immerse them in the Ancient Healthcare experience too. We're giving away training materials like cookbooks, mini courses, telemedicine consultations, spots at the upcoming retreats, invites to the premieres, and even certification options, or just lunch with me and the team. The way we see it, the world needs this ancient wisdom now, more than ever. So we're calling on the whole community to help us spark a healing revolution across the planet with Ayurveda. Thank you for joining me, and it's great to have you on this adventure. Thank you so much. Thank you so much again for watching that. Go to the Indiegogo page right now. The URL is theancienthealthcareproject.com. We've started this project from the bottom of our hearts.
Yes.
We've been working on it for over 2 years now. We're just so close to bringing this to the world. We really need your help. We really want your support. We would want you to be a part of this so that you experience this lifestyle as well and see radical changes for yourself. Even if you're already healthy, this can help you get into that peak state of performance, understand your digestion, understand these herbs that we're bringing to the world here, the telemedicine platform. Everything that we're bringing to the table here is amazing. More specifically, the $200 Ayurveda package is the most popular package that we're going to be introducing. It includes the supplements, it includes the cookbook, it includes the digital access to the documentary, and so many more little bonuses. Check out the Indiegogo page. I'm scrolling through it right now, as you can see. And this is really, really powerful information that we're sharing with everybody. We have the supplements such as Triphala, that's great for digestion.
Yep.
We're going to hear more about that in the next 2 webinars as well. Then we have Bacopa, for worries and stress and memory. It increases the memory that you can hold. That's powerful for a lot of people, including myself.
I know.
It was huge. And we also have turmeric. Turmeric is a great anti-inflammatory. In fact, the specific turmeric that we're sourcing has a curcumin in it, and the curcumin has been proven to fight cancer.
It's like
this is amazing information.
It's anti-inflammatory, fights cancer. It's almost known as like nature's antibiotic in some senses. So it is a true healing spice.
Yeah, and so we have 2 different things. The spices are not the ones, the supplements you would be taking. Yes. The spices that we have that are also included in the $200 package is what you would be cooking with. And then the supplements are supplementary, of course. Mm-hmm. We also have many other supplements as well. Ashwagandha is a great like nervous system builder.
It's called strength of the, translated, it's like strength of a horse. I mean, you can think about that.
It's the immunity that it builds for you is long-term energy and immunity. And then we have other formulations as well that are on this page, so you can take a look at those. You'll get also the DVD delivered to your doorstep, so we're really excited about that. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to play another video for you really shortly. It's just a short little video about the perks that we have. It's going to explain what each one is Would really, really love your support with the Indiegogo campaign. Anything that you can do, even if it's the lowest price package that we have or the highest price package that we have or anything in between, your support helps. And if you can't even help us with any financials right now, then you know what? The best thing is just share this, follow it, share it with friends, share it with family. We want to get this out and reach 20 million people by the end of 2016. We have everything we need in place. Now it's up to us to come together as a community and bring this to everybody. So let's play this perk video and we'll be right back. When you support the Ancient Healthcare Project, you get rewarded in a variety of exciting ways. From digital film access, to supplement and spice starter kits, to telemedicine consultations, and even Ayurvedic coaching certifications. You're sure to find a perk that fits your interest and budget. For $1, you get to join our movement, and we thank you very much for becoming a part of the Ancient Healthcare movement. You'll receive behind-the-scenes news and information about casting decisions and photos from the set. For $10, you get to experience the film online. Enjoy lifetime digital access to the film and a digital copy of the Ancient Healthcare Ayurvedic Cookbook, packed with dozens of authentic recipes that will heal, energize, and optimize your mind and body. Plus, get your name featured in our film credits. For $25, you get the Blu-ray DVD. Receive a high-quality Blu-ray DVD package of the film shipped directly to your door anywhere you are in the world. Plus, you still get digital access and the Ancient Healthcare Ayurvedic Cookbook. You'll also get your name featured in our film credit. For $35, you get the Ayurveda Digital Starter Kit. You'll receive our digital starter kit that equips you with the fundamental wisdom, recipes, tools, and techniques for enriching every part of your life with Ayurveda. It contains a collection of Ayurvedic guided meditation MP3s, an amazing in-depth Ayurveda 101 e-course, a digital cookbook, and digital film access. And you'll get your name entered in our film credits. For $100, you'll get the Ayurveda Digital Starter Kit Plus. It's same as the perk before, except you get 2 more courses. These 2 courses focus specifically around Ayurveda in women and Ayurveda in children. For $200, and there's a limit of 25 people for this one, is the Ancient Nutrient Starter Kit plus Kalarit Chowdhury's book, The Prime. You get to receive our physical starter kit with essential Ayurvedic supplements and spices for daily use. It includes 3 bottles of Ancient Healthcare seed-to-table supplements, Triphala, Bacopa, and turmeric. The Ancient Healthcare Spice Pack, containing 6 vials of nutrient-dense spices, such as fenugreek, fennel, coriander, mustard seeds, cumin, and turmeric. And digital access to the movie. This also contains the training content from the digital starter kit and your name in our film credits. Also for $200 is the Ancient Nutrient Starter Kit. This is same as the one above, without the book from Kalarit Chowdhury. For $300, you'll get the Project Yourself Training Kit, plus add-ons. Receive the Project Yourself Digital Home Training course packed with 9 modules of ancient wisdom, including Ayurveda, meditation, visualization, and more. This home training course takes all the ancient wisdom of India, brings it all together, allowing one to transform every area of their life. This also includes the digital access to the movie, the physical Ancient Nutrient Starter Kit, the training from the digital starter kit, and your name in the film credits. For $500, you'll get the Ayurvedic Telemedicine Pack. You'll receive a 60-minute one-on-one telemedicine session with the world-renowned Ayurvedic physician. This is a powerful opportunity to experience an Ayurvedic action plan, personalized to your needs and condition. Also included is digital access to the movie, the physical Ancient Nutrient Starter Kit, the training content from the digital starter kit, and your name in the film credits. For $1,000, this is limited to 10 individuals, you get to be the film premiere guest of honor. Be our guest of honor and connect with other Ayurveda enthusiasts, and be the first in the world to watch our film at our premiere this May. Choose between screenings in San Diego, New York, and India. Plus, the physical Ancient Nutrient Starter Kit, the training content from the digital starter kit, your name in our film credits, and a lunch date with our founders. For $2,000, this is also limited to 10 individuals, you get the pre-premiere VIP package. you get to join the director and select cast in San Diego for a private film screening before the final cut. Your feedback that day can actually influence the final cut itself. This is followed by a private dinner at the director's home. You also get 2 VIP tickets to the movie premiere with all the experts from the film. On top of that, your logo, your name, and your website are featured in the premiere brochure and your name in our film credits. Plus, you get access to 10 HD special downloads. For $27.50, and this is limited to 5, you get to play an extra role in our film and join us for a lunch. Your face will be seen in the film. You will spend the day on set in San Diego and be placed in a scene as close to the camera as possible, and you get to eat lunch with the cast and crew. You also get 2 cast VIP premiere tickets to join the filmmakers and experts from the film on the day of the premiere in the first couple rows of seats. Your logo, name, and website are featured in the premiere brochure and your name in our film credits. Plus, you get 10 HD special downloads. For $5,000, this is also limited to 10 individuals, you get the Ancient Healthcare Retreat Package. You reserve a spot at one of our upcoming Ancient Healthcare Retreats in April or October. You get to get away and get treated by the world's best Ayurvedic physicians and experts for a week and experience hands-on Ayurvedic detox, cooking, and massage coaching. The accommodations and food will be amazing and will be provided by us. You also get digital access to the movie, your name in our film credits, and a lunch date with the founders. For $6,000, and this is limited to 25 individuals, you get the Ayurveda Coaching Certificate. You get to receive training for our Ancient Healthcare Ayurveda Coaching Certification. This is your launchpad to not only learning Ayurveda for yourself, but for teaching and empowering others, either as a hobby or as a business. You will be trained by the world's best Ayurvedic physicians and experts. You'll also get a digital copy of the movie, a physical Ancient Nutrient Starter Kit, the training content from the digital starter kit, your name in our film credits, and a lunch date with our founders. For $10,000, limited to 5 individuals, you'll get to be a part of the Ultimate Ayurveda Package. You get everything in the above retreat package, except this one includes 2 cast VIP premiere tickets to join the filmmakers and experts from the film in the first couple rows of seats. You'll also get the physical Ancient Nutrient Starter Kit, the training content from the digital starter kit, your name in our film credits, and a lunch date with our founders. Your logo, name, and website are featured in the premiere brochure and your name in our film credits, plus 10 HD special credits, plus 10 HD special downloads. For $25,000, this is limited to 1 lucky individual. You get to become our executive producer. This is the ultimate perk for that one individual who believes in our mission just as much as we do. You get to receive an executive producer credit for our upcoming film on IMDb. You also get 10 VIP premiere tickets for your friends and family to join the filmmakers and experts from the film in the first rows of seats. You will also receive an invite to the pre-premiere party. Additionally, you get a chance to come to our retreat and get treated by the world's best Ayurvedic physicians and experts. Thank you so much for supporting our mission, and thank you for any perk that you choose. We truly, truly appreciate all of your support. Thank you.
And there you have it, all the perks that we have to offer. We may introduce some cool new ones throughout this campaign over the next 20-something odd days that we're running this campaign. And really, this means a lot to us. And we're creating this whole entire series for you, for us, and for the future of the kids, for future of families, for future of health.
The future of honestly, this sounds, but it's for the future of humankind at this point.
It really is crucial. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here and being part of this revolution.
And on our next session, we're going to be interviewing Dr. Kulreet Chowdhury. She has been featured on many television stations, has just written a book called The Prime. It's about how to detox and then, the brain-gut connection, and then how to spontaneously lose weight through that process and get into the best peak performance of your life, to turn into a fat-burning, awesome, living, conscious machine. And we're really excited to share this content with you. She's been all over TV. She's been all over the news. She is a strong proponent of Ayurveda. She's a doctor. She's a neurologist as well.
and she's integrated Ayurveda into her practice more recently. And even more recently, she stopped her clinical trial practice to reach more people through her books, through her speaking, through her research. And really excited to bring this content with you. Share this campaign with your friends. Share this information with family, friends, everybody that you know that needs this information. Now is time for the healing revolution, like we mentioned. And so we're so very blessed and grateful to be here sharing this with you. So why not go out there, try some of the things that we talked about today. Join us on one of our perks. Join us on this mission. Follow the campaign. And we're really excited to be here with you. We'll see you on the next session with Dr. Kulreet. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so very much.